all whispers and any kind of buzz going on with the Mets indicates that Minaya is aggressively pursuing right now. And it seems like, from what I've been reading on Mets blog, is he's been making a little bit of headway with that. Specifically today, in fact, he mentioned that there's a few trade opportunities out there for salary swap kind of players, which would obviously indicate, in my opinion, the Reds.
That's where I'm going. That's where my number one target for the Mets is, and a guy I think they're going to get.
Okay, who would that be?
Aaron Harang.
Harang is your guy.
I think that's the guy to get, and I think that's the guy they will get. If I had to make a prediction, I think they go for him.
See, all right, Harang this year will make $12.5 million, and he has a $2 million buyout on his option next year. It's him or Bronson that has the escalating option next year. I'll check it real quick.
I think it's Harang.
Harang? Okay.
So I believe so.
Let me pull up McCott's contract.
But Aaron Harang, listen, I'm not saying he's the ideal, perfect fit. He's not going to come in here and dazzle you, but I think the last couple years, from what's been said, is that he's had some injuries, had some not even Bedard type degenerative shoulder injuries, but some kind of this way that way injuries, a couple of illnesses, his appendix burst, he had stuff like that, and his production has dropped off significantly. But if you look at him from 2005 to 2007, the guy was averaging 220 innings a year, striking out a ton of guys. 2006 and 2007, he averaged 217 strikeouts. 16 back-to-back 16 win seasons. ERA from 2005 to 2007 was about 3.75. Not, like I said, not a perfect fit, not the ideal guy, but if you look at his 162 game averages, he averages for his career 211 innings per 162 games pitched.
That's pretty good. What about his is he a fly ball pitcher, ground ball pitcher? He was more of a fly ball pitcher.
Which plays well into Citi Field.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I would say is a candidate for a bounce-back season. 31 years old at the end of last year. I don't know if he's going to be 32 when the season starts. Still in his prime.
Harang. So yeah, I was actually leaning more towards Arroyo, to tell you the truth.
Some people do. I hate Arroyo, personally. I mean, he's pretty, kind of the same type. Doesn't strike out as many, but listen, Arroyo's. I never liked Arroyo ever. I just hated watching the guy. I hate the leg kick. I hate everything about Arroyo. Not saying he's not a good pitcher. It's no way to judge a pitcher, but I've never liked Arroyo.
Yeah. So Harang this year is 12.5.
What's Arroyo?
Arroyo's at 11. So I mean, there's equal incentive for the Reds to move either player. And next year, Harang's option would increase to $13 million based on 210 innings pitched,
which is definitely feasible.
And Arroyo's option would increase to $13 million based on innings pitched as well. Basically the same contracts. I think it's going to be whoever. It's kind of the same players, same kind of stats, same kind of contracts. I mean, it's going to be whoever wants which player more. I think.
Yeah, I guess. Unless I don't know what the Reds' plans are. To be honest with you, I don't know if they plan on contending, if they plan on salary dumps and retooling. I really don't know what their plan is.
See, if they are planning on doing a little salary dump here, there's another player on their team that would obviously have great intrigue for me as a Met fan, and that's Brandon Phillips, making $7 million this year. And I didn't know this until I looked today, but his salary escalates to $11.2 million next year. And he's got $1 million buyout.
That's definitely interesting. Any second baseman not named Luis Castillo seems to have catches Met fans' ears, because it doesn't seem like anybody wants him to come back. And Phillips is a guy, plays some excellent defense. He's a good player, but I know he's also gotten benched for lack of hustle a few times. There's a little question about that. So I don't know, maybe he's not the ideal guy to bring in, but like you said, anybody but Castillo.
He's got 11. He's got 11 coming to him next year, guaranteed. 6.7 this year, guaranteed. 11 next year, guaranteed. $12 million option in 2012 with a $1 million buyout.
I mean, that's a contract. If I'm the Mets, I'd be more than happy to eat up.
Yeah, bring Brandon in here. Bat him. He'd hit second.
Yeah, he could hit second.
So what could I give up? I'm taking on Phillips and Harang for, let's just say, I'm taking on $19 million this year, and I'm taking on another $24 million next year. 19 this year, 24 next year for those two players. They'd have to take back.
I mean, Castillo's got to be number one on the list to go if they're going to get Brandon Phillips.
You think it's going to cost me a Maine in that deal?
I don't know how much interest teams have in Maine, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know how much is what is his? He's
cheap.
$3 million maybe.
Yeah, I think he's still in he might still even be in arbitration.
Just, as a point of reference, Brandon Phillips for his career, 265 average, 312 on base percentage. So you're not exactly looking at.
That's all he is?
Yeah. Last couple of years.
It's a bad contract then.
I mean, he hits 20 homers. Last year, 276 average, 329 on base percentage, 20 homers, 98 ribbies.
Just slugging.
25 stolen bases.
He's
OPS
fast.
776.
That's high. It's real high for second baseman.
For a second baseman, yeah. If you got a second baseman that's 30 doubles, 20 homers, 25 stolen bases, and plays Gold Glove defense.
I mean, I'm more concerned about adding the Harang or the Arroyo at this point to shore up the rotation. But if I have to take on, well, I don't even consider taking on. If I can pick up Phillips in that deal, I'm doing it. Maine's gonna make about $3 million this year. He made 2.6 last year. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the Reds are doing. If the Reds are, they did make a trade for Scott Rowland. So that's not a salary dumping type team. That Rowland makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Has a couple years left on his deal, and I actually think they gave him an extension to cut his base salary for this year. And give him an extension for a couple years, if I can remember correctly. So I don't know. They seem like a team not really with much of an identity of what exactly they're doing. And they got Dusty Baker, the pitcher, the human pitcher killer, on them. He's destroyed a number of careers.
Yeah, he has.
Mark Pryor, number one. Even Kerry Wood, under his tutelage, became an injury disaster. And that might be a little something Harang is dealing with too.
Yeah,
some overworking.
Could be. I mean, looking around the major leagues, there's really nothing else out there.